He's absolutely Jason, he's absolutely gay. He'll absolutely brighten up the darkest rainy day. He's funny and loves movies, he's smart and he's a Jew. He's an actor and an activist and wants to hear from you.
Hey everybody, welcome to Absolutely Jason Stuart with my guest and my friend, Mike C. Manning. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
This is so cool because what I do at the beginning of the show is I always tell people how I met you. And I met you, we talked about this when we had coffee around a number of months ago. Yeah. I met you at the Village. I don't know if you call it, it's got three different names, the Village, the Gay and Lesbian Center, and also the Lily Tomlin Jane Wagner Theater, right there. So we met there, and you were speaking on behalf of HRC. And I did not like you.
Actually, yeah, no, you said that, and you were very
I didn't say that,
but
I didn't say it to you when I met you.
No, not when you met me.
I said to you when we had coffee,
yeah.
we were talking, and I just thought, oh, God, another guy from some reality TV show. You're the first person that's ever been on a reality show that's been on my show.
Okay.
Because I'm not a big reality show fan, as my fans know. He was on Real World, which started your career.
Yeah.
And in a way, and you were telling me that when you started doing that, I don't mean to get you in the defense in the beginning, you know, because we're friends, but you said to me when we were talking that you know it was a show that you had never been on television. You never really, you never. Well, you talk. Go ahead. What was the experience like on the show? Why did you do it? And what did you learn?
Yeah, it was really kind of crazy. As I told you, I had never watched the show before. Didn't have any plans to be on the show. I followed my best friend. I was in college at the time. Followed my best friend to help him get on the show, and I ended up. It was interesting because
so you were just like the tag along.
I was like the tag along.
Susan Sarandon did that with her husband Chris Sarandon when he auditioned for the movie Joe, and she got the part in it. And I think he didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, didn't something else happen with like Brad Pitt or something that
he
was
brought
one
someone
of those
along
things.
too, yeah.
Or somebody went along with him, or he went along with somebody.
I'm sure it's he went along with someone else.
He went along. But well, Brad Pitt was also the chicken. He was a chicken at like a fast food place.
Was
and
he?
I was the Chick-fil-A cow. I'll never.
You were the Chick-fil-A cow?
Yeah, so that's what we have that in common too.
Oh, well, you probably have a lot more in common than that.
Good
night, everybody.
Hey.
Okay.
So it was interesting. I never wanted to be on reality TV. At the time, I had done community theater. I started doing theater when I was little. I knew I loved entertaining people. I'd done some short films in Colorado, but what is that? I was going to school for business, and my dad was a VP of a company. I didn't know any actors. I didn't know any entertainers, so I was very set on business. And I followed him to the audition, tried to help him out. The casting director said, "Hey, come here. I want to talk to you for a little while longer." And I have this perfect stranger asking me questions that nobody had ever asked me before.
Like, what did they ask you?
Well, I mean, they ask you the normal stuff, like, hey, what do you like to do, the sports, the this and that, and whatever. But by the end of the interview, he looks at me and he says, let me get this straight. So you're a sexually confused bisexual Christian in Colorado that plays sports and does whatever.
Welcome to television.
Yeah, and he goes, yeah. I said, yeah, that basically sums me up. And he goes, all right, we're gonna be giving you a call, and that was it.
They like the confusing part.
I think, yeah.
It makes great TV.
Yeah, I was confused about a lot of things, so they like.
But you came out on the show, and then you started working with HRC.
Yep.
And you started really trying to do something good with something that was sort of crazy. But when we talked, you just sort of felt. And you tell me if I'm wrong, unprepared to be in this position.
Oh no, absolutely. I think that the fact that the show was in DC was my saving grace, because I really I was exposed to politics. I was exposed to the Human Rights Campaign. I was exposed to.
And for those of folks at home don't know, the HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, is the biggest lobbying group for LGBT people in the country.
Yep.
And they don't all just do big dinners. They fight for our rights in the best way that they can.
Yeah.
And it's somewhat of a controversial organization too within our community at times.
I think it is. I mean, I think any smaller civil rights organization is always going to face criticisms, because we have there are so many civil rights issues out there that it's necessary to have so many smaller organizations. But when you have a larger one like the Human Rights Campaign, there's always a sense that if one organization is doing something, they're cannibalizing the efforts of another organization. And there are a lot of, what I've noticed at least, it's a lot of stepping on toes and and fighting
man.
over donors and this and that. And so I think that because the Human Rights Campaign is so large and so effective, I think they do face a lot of criticisms, but it's not anything that...
I always take the stance that I'm so glad they're there,
Yeah.
number one, but I don't always agree with everything they do.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, yeah,
And
isn't
sometimes you
isn't that like your parents? So glad they're there. Don't really agree with what they do.
Well, yeah, all right.
I don't
all
know.
right.
We don't have to.
All right.
Yeah.
So what happened? What was the first big job out of that, acting-wise, for you? What was the first job that came from that? Was it I Do?
Do we want to say big job or do we want to say job? Because those are
Tell us
different
the
things.
first job. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
Was it the one, the gingerbread thing?
Yep. That was it.
Oh God.
So my first.
Tell us the name of the movie.
My first job was the Ginger Dead Man 3. So they
It
had
wasn't
done-
even one.
It wasn't even one. Wasn't even two.
But it
was
has
three.
it has a bigger title.
It's
it had-
Saturday Night Cleaver is what
yeah,
it is.
yeah. You have Gingerbread Man 3, Saturday Night Cleaver.
So it's each one is a parody of you had Ginger Dead Man, The Passion of the Crust, Passion of the Christ, Saturday Night Fever, Saturday Night Cleaver. Gary Busey is the voice of this killer gingerbread cookie.
No.
Yeah. Doesn't that make so much sense though?
Oh, yes.
I mean, you kind of say no, but then you're like
Academy Award nominated actor
Yeah.
is the voice of the gingerbread
Yeah.
killer.
So my first job is I am having sex with this girl in a
But isn't
closet.
that neat? So you come out on a show and then you get to have sex with a girl, and that really says something. I really think that's sort of cool. And then you get
Yeah.
something happens to you.
I get nail gunned to death.
nail gunned to
Yeah.
death. Yes.
Yeah.
And that was your first welcome to show
Yeah,
business.
yeah. My character name was Adonis. I had probably 120 seconds of screen time. I got the job because another actor got sick, and a friend of mine was a producer on the show. He said,
Oh
"Hey,
my
Mike,
God.
come in
Oh
here and
my
do this."
God.
I said, "Okay." And that was my first. That was my first.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time. Come on in,
Yeah.
play the part of Adonis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then, so my first big job, I'll say my real acting job was I Do,
And which is a wonderful, wonderful movie. I just loved it. Produced by Stephen Israel. Am I correct?
Yep, that was
Yeah, and I worked with him before, and I just adore him. And it's just a wonderful movie about marriage, gay marriage.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's told in a way that's really real. And I really love stories that at the crux of the entire story, it's the humanity of a human being. And so in the story, David W. Ross falls in love with someone, and he has to pretend to be married to Jamie Lynn Sigler in order to keep his green card, in order to take care of his niece, who's become like a daughter figure. It's a lot of
And you play.
So I played sort of a lover of his that once he tries to rebound and come back to me after things don't work out with the other main guy, I say no. Like this
And nobody
isn't what I
pins you to a wall
signed
and
up for. No.
staples you to death.
I do not get nail gunned to death. No.
Just nailed, but
No,
you know.
just nailed, but not nail gun.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And did your family see the film?
Not that one. Nope.
No.
No.
You didn't want them to, or you just?
The first couple things out here, I just sort of wanted to get a few roles under my belt, and I wasn't very vocal. Because to be honest, I think you and I talked about this. Coming off of a reality show, I was very cognizant about how hard it is to be an actor and how much work people put into acting. And so I felt like I almost didn't deserve to call myself an actor until...
Really?
Yeah, and when I first moved out here, I really felt like I wanted to catch up, so I signed up for improv at the Groundlings, comedy at Leslie Kahn, scene study at a theater off of Wilcox. The
So you
Row
started
Theaters.
studying with everybody.
I studied with everybody. So at one point, for about 2 years, I was in 3 acting classes a week, not really doing much else.
Wow.
And because I felt like I needed.
How were you able to make a living? How were you able to survive?
Well, I had a lot of money saved up from Colorado, from doing some stuff there. I had a couple jobs, and then the
Because I want people to hear this at home. It costs a lot to live out here, and you got to find other things to do.
It does.
To take care of yourself.
I worked for a catering company for a little bit. I also a nice thing about participating in Real World is I got to travel and speak to colleges and universities about activism, about diversity, about all that stuff. And so for about a year and a half, my first year and a half in LA, I was paying the bills by going and doing events and speaking at colleges. And of
What
course
was that like? What was that like?
It was amazing. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. Standing in front of 500 college students, that think that ready to take on the world, and talking to them about how they are capable of doing that. It's an amazing feeling. So.
Did you do any Q&As, and did you get to interact with people?
Yeah, all the time.
Because I did that a lot. I did a lot of speaking about being openly gay in the workplace, and that's how we would talk about it. And what I found is that you just never know who you're going to hit or how you're going to hit her. Was there anything that sticks out in your mind?
Oh, I got in fights about religion in front of an auditorium full of people, and they said, "Well, what about Romans this and Leviticus this?" And I'm like, "Well, what about
you know it really well."
Oh yeah, and I'm like, "Well, you're wearing cloth and linen at the same time. You shouldn't be here. Have you eaten shellfish lately? Are your children sold into slavery? I mean, it's all these things."
Wait, cloth and linen? What's?
Oh yeah, thou shalt not wear cloth and linen at the same time.
Really?
Yeah, it's so many things.
I think I'm doing it right
how dare
now.
you?
Damn!
Give me a stone, right now. No, it's.
And when you said that specific thing is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
So when you said thou shalt not wear cloth and linen at the same time, what did these people say? Oh, well, that's just
Oh yeah, they said, "Oh well, that's taking it literally," and I'm like, "Well, you're saying, a man shall not lie with another man, and spill seed," which is people interpret as like ejaculating outside of a woman. But that's in a time when they're living in the desert, they're living under rough conditions. If a man travels away from his home to go be with another man, he's not watching the household. This is a time where the Jewish people were being oppressed by the Romans, and that they had to stay together. And safe and procreate. They wanted to have babies. That's it's all about having babies.
That's what I thought it was. Is that we needed people to.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, you hold hands with another dude in a hallway, and now you're not part of our society. I don't think Jesus or anybody intended for that consequence.
So it's all about what was going on at the time, which a lot of people don't seem to do. And what I used to think about is you can't eat fish on Friday, and then all of a sudden, didn't that change? And then I'm thinking to myself, all those people went to hell, and what happened to all those people? Did they take a bus and move them over to heaven?
Yeah.
I mean, how did it work?
Like,
I'm sorry. God,
there's the purgatory. We're just gonna lift them out like one of those video game cranes. We're just gonna lift all the purgatory people out and just throw them through the gates of heaven, I guess.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I always go, if all the gay people are going to hell, where else would I want to go?
Yeah.
That's where I want to go to heaven with all the straight people wearing white after Labor Day? I don't think so.
How dare they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's really cool. Because I remember doing stand-up in clubs. I remember, and this is the one that I remember the most when I was in St. Louis. A woman, this was, I think, this first year of what I call my coming out tour. I did stand-up in St. Louis at the Funny Bone, and some woman came over to me and she said, I just want you to know that my son passed away last year from AIDS, and this is the first time I've been out of the house, and you remind me of him, and you made me laugh. And I thought, oh my God,
yeah.
I still get a little, that moment, of just my silly little stand-up comedy act, making fun of my, Jewish money and her mom and her high heels on the beach.
But I will say this though, I'm part of this organization called Buddha Bullying, and we just threw a comedy event at the Comedy Store.
Oh yeah, you're
last
telling me
month,
about that.
month before last. And through that process, I got to know a lot of comedians, and and we're friends. And every time I watch somebody stand up, it's really raw, and it's really them exposing themselves. And I think comedy is one of the highest forms of self-deprecation.
Sometimes.
But it's also raw, and you're taking things about your own personal self, and you're sharing it with a live audience. And I think there's something really raw and that's obviously what she felt with you.
Oh my God.
You're not just telling jokes, you're sharing bits of yourself.
Yeah. And on that lovely note, because that's sweet, we're going to take a break right here. We're going to be back in just a second with Mike C. Manning here on Absolutely Jason Stewart. Please don't change that channel. Oh my God, we don't have channels here.
An immersive rock and roll show ultimate jam night, which everybody needs to go to every single Tuesday at the Whiskey A Go-Go. Chuck Wright! How did the ultimate jam night come about? Was that your brainchild?
Yes, it was.
What were you thinking?
Yeah, exactly. I created a monster. really about a social gathering, and that's what this is about. It's about rebuilding the community of musicians again, because, you know, all the clubs are closing, the DJs have taken over, you know, and DJs can't jam. I actually have a killer house band with Matt Starr.
Well, yeah, you do.
Well, Matt Starr from Mr. Big, who helps organize the thing, and Mitch Perry from Edgar Winter Group, and we just brought on Walter Eno, and having Pauly Z singing. We put other players with us, but we also put combinations of players that have never played together before, like Nuno Betancourt from Extreme and Billy Sheehan from Mr. Big, have never played together before, and they're up there just shredding off of each other. We moved over to the Whiskey A Go-Go, legendary venue, the only one in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where I cut my teeth in Hollywood myself, playing there. I was the guy putting up the posters for the shows on all the poles when you drive up Laurel Canyon when I was a kid. Yeah, I started here. My concept for this jam night was beyond just having the best musicians in LA play. I wanted to create a rock and roll circus. Organizing 40 to 70 musicians a week, and I'm losing my mind!
How rock star is that?
Yeah.
He's absolutely Jason, he's absolutely gay, he'll absolutely brighten up the...
Welcome back to Absolutely Jason Stewart with my guest Mike C. Manning. So what was really cool, and I just love this, you called me a couple times and you said, hey, we should be friends, we should hang out, I want to learn stuff from you. And I was like, oh my God, that was so cool and so sweet, and I just cannot thank you. That made me feel so good, and I just adore you. And so we went out to coffee, and I told you I'm doing this little short film called Like Father, and you told me you're producing this film called Gin.
Gin, yeah.
Which is about, tell us about this.
So the thing that I
and
like...
and then we cast each other.
And then we cast each other, yeah,
Yes.
which you don't really get the opportunity to do very often with friends that are actors.
I do it all the
so
time.
much of it is built on competition. And this
Oh, it
and that,
is? I
and
try to do it all the
was
time.
so great. Well, no.
Because my films are so tiny.
No, it was a lot of fun. But
Yours
it-
turned out really good, your scene and mine.
Yeah,
It's
no,
really good.
No, I saw it. I saw it at
I
the
know, but
WGA. I saw
people loved it.
Yeah. Well, it was fun to. We can talk about it, but it was fun to go back to high school. you know?
Yes.
So, I.
It's Gin.
The reason I wanted to say too, the reason that I called you, is because, sort of, I have made it a point to never be the smartest person in the room. I always want to surround myself with people that are smarter than me, because how else do you learn? How else are you pushed? And you have always been somebody that's been very aggressive about creating your own content, telling your own stories, and also just, fighting for roles that you really believe that you deserve and that you're right for. And you've always done that, and that's something that I aspire to do. So that's why I.
Well, it wouldn't work if I didn't fight for stuff. I would sit around the house wondering who I am. A lot of crying, watching Showtime, trying to figure out why I can't see the parts I want to see,
Yeah, fighting with the cable guy because that's the only person that'll talk to you. I don't know what that's
But in Like Father, which is about, I've talked about it in the show before, is about a Jewish man who's dying of cancer and his son, and how his gay son, and how he wants forgiveness from his gay son, basically. And you play the first boyfriend of my gay son in it, in this little scene that's actually in a closet.
Yeah.
And you had to film in a closet in your underwear.
In my underwear,
And you
yeah.
just, it was done very tastefully. It's so sweet. And, I said you got these lines, because we didn't have anything written.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, this is what I want. And you guys almost did exactly what I said, which was so bizarre.
Yeah,
And
thank
it was
you.
perfect. And it was so sweet, and it was tender. And there's this one little kiss, and the clinking of the glasses, and he takes his glasses off. And I just love, I just love it.
Yeah. No,
I
it was a
love
really
the
fun
scene.
scene to shoot because it was so just natural. You just.
Well, that's what I wanted, and that's what is so important to me in a film, unless you're doing something with a certain style,
Yeah.
is that the film look real, and that you could see yourself in the characters, or you feel like you're spying on somebody. And I wanted this film to sort of look like ordinary people or terms of endearment, that kind of movie. Now, tell us about Jin. I have 2 little scenes, and I play a racist newscaster.
Yeah, racist newscaster.
Which seems to be the theme of my work after The Birth of a Nation.
Yeah. So with Jin, I had met the filmmakers through a Film Independent event where I was there as a producer. They were there as filmmakers, writer-director, trying to tell the story. And I immediately fell in love with the idea. I read the script. I fell in love with the script. It's about a young African American girl, and she's attending high school, and she's a dancer, and she's sort of carefree, and it is what you want out of what you would think of a good young high schooler in a good situation. Very happy, a lot of friends, that sort of thing.
Maybe your life.
Yeah, well,
high school was a nightmare for me.
What you would want.
Yes.
In high school. I was the smallest guy on the wrestling team. Come on.
I wasn't even near the wrestling team. I can only fantasize about.
In your dreams, you might have.
Yes, I was beat up a lot, but
yeah.
I wasn't.
So there's this young girl played by Zoe Renee, who's on the series The Quad. She's doing great. Her mother, played by Simone Missick from the Netflix series Luke Cage, she is a newscaster, and so she's sort of a public figure, and she decides, through a series of events, to convert to Islam, and she wears a hijab while giving the
which
the
is,
news.
for those who don't know, is the scarf that people wear.
Yeah.
At
So
home, it's a
she
scarf.
covers her hair, and you see her face, and she wears the hijab while giving the weather, and at that moment, everything blows up on social media. The news.
That's my
cast goes
scene.
viral.
That's the scene that I say. So that scene can't get cut.
That's your scene. Yeah.
That can't get cut, right?
No, that can't get cut.
Because that's important.
safe.
And then I also do some
safe.
news, some actual news, which was the scariest thing for me.
But it
to
was
do.
great. You were so good at it, and you ad-libbed a few lines, and it was funny. And I don't know, you did it serious and you did it funny, and I don't know which one we'll use. But it was just so perfect. And as soon as I read the script, I was like, "That's Jason."
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, racist newscaster.
No, it's just
that's him.
He's a witch. No.
Yeah, right.
So the story. So because this sort of goes viral and explodes when she gives the news that way. This young African American girl. It's 2017. She's now facing discrimination, not for being a young African American girl in America, but for being Muslim.
Wow.
And sort of it just plays on that dichotomy of what is our country today versus what it was during the Civil Rights Movement for the African American community, and what is repeating itself, and how are we the same and how are we different, and through the eyes of a young high school girl. So,
I love that.
Yeah, and I get chills every time I talk about it.
I can't wait. How close
like,
is it to being ready to be?
We're in the post-production right now, so we'll
Near the beginning or
have
near the end?
Near the end. So
Oh, good.
hopefully we'll
Okay.
have something to share.
All right, we're going to take another early break now because I want to come back and I want to talk about a wonderful film that you just, I guess, was at South by Southwest, which is really, really hard to get into. Very hard. We're going to take a break here at Absolutely Jason Stewart. We'll be back in just a minute with Mike C. Manning. Please stay with us.
I like to sing, dance, pretend, and I like to have fun.
Someone was suspected of being responsible, but it was all hushed up.
I start. Hi, I'm Moxie.
And I'm Nicole, and we're the ladies of Suicide Girls Radio, the world's leading BYOB radio show. Pour a glass of your favorite tipple and tune in on Wednesday nights between 8 and 9 p.m. as we discuss life, liberty, and the pursuit of free nipples. Or just flash it would be kind of funny, wouldn't it? People think flashing your tits is easy, right? And it's actually kind of hard.
Hi, I'm Rob Schneider.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Matt McAndrew. Hey everyone, I'm Tyler Oakley.
And I'm Corey Cool.
Hi, I'm Martha Madison.
This is Slink Johnson, aka Black Jesus, BKA Godzilla Lungs.
Hello, I'm Eric Roberts.
Yeah, what's up? This is Craig Wayans.
Hi, this is Brad Williams, and as you can tell, I have never gotten high.
Speedy Don.
And I am the fabulous Stephen Payne.
What's good? It's your boy Marcus Park, man. We keeping it lit.
I'm Money B.
What's up, y'all? This is Crazy Bone in the building.
And it's your boy Street Symphony. And you're watching.
He's absolutely Jason. He's absolutely gay. He'll absolutely...
Hey everybody, we're back. We're almost back. We're sort of back.
We're back.
It's okay. Brant pushed some wrong buttons. It happens. This is when somebody makes a mistake at work. We're back at Absolutely Jason Stewart with my guest Mike C. Manning. But I want to say a couple shout outs here to a couple fans. Nicholas, he says, what is it now? Station identification? He says, I love you. I love that you are always busy yet accessible. Thank you so much. Dinah Reeves is listening to us again. And we got Molly, April Molly Peacock, who's on us.
April Molly Peacock?
That's her name.
I want to be friends with her.
Eamon is always there to listen to our show. We have Jim Gills. I want to say this on here on air. James Russell, thank you again.
La La Land. Oh wait, sorry.
Richard Crossler, Teresa, Tanya, Stephen, Peter. Hey, Peter, I'm going to be working for... Oh, Peter. Let me tell you about Peter. So I'm doing 2 cruises, one with Steve Grand and one with, I guess, some other singers, David Fernandez and Candy Coy from RuPaul. But Candy Coy is going to be on both of the things, and you can go to my website and you can get all the information to go to the cruise. One's in January 13th, and the other one is about the same time in February, and you should all come on this cruise. The prices are great. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you'll get to hang out with me. Oh my God. So that's
Are you
it.
gonna wear your sunscreen? We were just
Yes,
talking
I'm
about
pleased.
this.
That I'm going to, and a burqa.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid to take my shirt off. Look at this. So let's talk about South by Southwest. I was really thrilled when you told me, because you called me from there. I said, hey, what are you doing this week? Let's go to coffee. And you were at South by Southwest, and I was like so jealous.
I did film festival drop in our conversation.
No,
oh,
please.
Sorry, South by Southwest.
That's a big deal.
It was my first time going, and it was tremendous. It was so much fun to be there.
Have you been to Sundance?
I have been to Sundance.
Is it equal to, or?
I think that it's different. I love Sundance. I love that there are so many things going on, so many films, so many filmmakers, so many lounges, so many parties, so many, just chances to events, just chances to meet filmmakers, hear their stories. Love it. The nice thing about South by Southwest is that it's film, it's interactive, like technology, and it's music. So a lot of it was films, we're indie films. A lot of it was VR.
There was some comedy too. There's a couple comedy things too.
Yeah, and then music. I'm sure there was comedy. So after seeing the films and being there for our films and our premiere, and we had 3 sold out, packed screenings. They were great. I got to go to some of the voiceover lounges. I'm not voiceover. Why am I saying VR? Other 2 letters. Virtual reality lounges, and I actually got to put on the goggles and experience a lot of the...
What's the name of the film, though, first? Tell us the name.
Oh, it's called MFA.
And who's in it, and tell us about it.
So MFA it's another strong female protagonist, which I seem to be gravitating towards these days. It's MFA, Master in Fine Arts. It's about Francesca Eastwood, Clint's daughter, and she plays an art student getting her MFA.
It's also Frances Fisher's daughter, who's been on our show.
She has.
Yes.
Oh, she's
extraordinary,
and so classy.
classy, smart, and yet shows up for anything. Speaking of accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I mean, just the most lovely women you'd ever meet.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
Are
love
you gonna
her.
add that to your Facebook?
Yeah,
You know,
accessible.
Accessible. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I used to think I should be more, mysterious and distant, but I'm not. That's just not me.
You should have them all listed: mysterious, distant, accessible. And see who calls you out.
An annoying Jew. That's
annoying
who I
Jew.
am.
Yeah, something. I didn't say it. You did.
Yes.
So
the white guy gets to say, and I'll say annoying. We'll just cut it up. Annoying Jew. Annoying Jew.
Yeah, and then you have that look like.
Yeah.
See, it sounds like a really bad superhero. Like it just annoys.
Oh my God, that's what I should be. You should be doing. Annoying Jew. Hey, get out of here! You're ruining everything.
Yeah. Do you really need to be mugging this guy in the alley? This alley's filthy. Come on, just
dirty everywhere. Get up.
You sure? Look at your life. Look at your choices.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know where that.
Do we have to sit here? Do we have to sit here? It's so hot. I'm schwitzing.
Yeah. 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 What do you do? Come on, we need to have a talk. Don't make me call you mother. I don't know.
All right.
Oh my God, you are blind.
Yes, I am.
I feel like I'm like. I feel like I'm in outer space. I'm a fish. I'm a goldfish.
Do you see what it's like my life?
Your life is terrifying.
Yeah.
No wonder you're so accessible and distant at the same time. So MFA. So MFA is Master of Fine Arts. Francesca Eastwood is getting her degree in art, and her art is sort of plateaued. She's a little insecure. She doesn't really know what her style is. She goes to a party. She ends up getting raped by somebody in her art class. And yeah, not a comedy. She ends up getting raped by somebody in her art class, and she talks to her university about it. They don't really believe her. She talks to her friends about it. They're like, don't say anything, don't say anything. And so she goes to confront the guy, and they get in an argument, and she ends up killing him. She ends up pushing him, and he, I won't give too much away, but he ends up dying. And in that moment, she looks over the balcony, and she feels a sense of power and ownership that she's never felt before. And she goes home and she paints the most beautiful painting she's ever done. And so she finds out that the reason that her friend told her not to say anything is because her friend had experienced rape. And so she goes and researches men that have raped women on campus and gotten away with it, and she goes on this vigilante mission to kill them.
This is a big subject matter because, I mean, we have to teach women in this society to say no out loud and really say it.
Well,
I think so. I really do.
Yes.
And this drinking on college campuses is part of the biggest problem. I mean, what's the difference between raping somebody that the straight guy doesn't know because the woman's never said no and they're both drunk, or there's this weird gray line that seems to be happening on these campuses, and I think it's really, really important that the women take ownership of their.
Women take ownership, but it's also not their fault. I wouldn't.
No,
I would say that it's.
No, I don't think it's their fault either. But
I think even more than
women
taking ownership is that there's this rape culture, and there's this, especially with fraternities and I was I was a part of that world in college, and there's this culture of people being, you sleep with somebody, you check them off the list. It's a notch in your belt. It's this, it's that. It's you can stick your dick wherever you like, and you're celebrated for it. You're not
right.
There's not a dialogue saying, hey, maybe you should think about that. And so,
but they're not even taught this until
that's what I'm saying.
Until
so
the last 5 or 10 years, I think. And I think it's incredibly important that straight guys are taught this because these kids don't know anything.
Yeah.
And they're getting themselves into rape situations.
They are getting
without knowing it.
I think it is. I do think that.
I mean, now I think they do, but I mean, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I think it was very different.
I just think that there needs to be a dialogue around what is an okay sexual encounter and what isn't.
I think so too.
Yeah, and we had great feedback from the film. We had a pack premiere, pack screenings. There was a lot of great press from
Do you act
CNN,
in this film? Do you have
CNN actually covered us as the film that deals with the conversation around rape in a very artistic and creative sort of commercial way.
Do you have a role in the film?
Yeah, I do have a role in the film.
What do you play?
I am one of the rapists.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
man. That's rough.
Yeah, it was hard to play, especially because the film does not. We're not handcuffed in showing what raping a woman is really like, and to shoot that was very difficult. But it was also something that it was necessary.
I play a rapist also in Birth of a Nation, but they don't show it. You just show the repercussions of it, which are really awful.
Yeah.
And I think it really changes a woman's life, or a man if that happens to them.
Yeah, my mom called me because I told her about South by Southwest. I was really excited, and she said, "So is this one of the movies I can show to your grandmother?" I said, "Nope, no, Mom, it's not." Go,
Speaking of movies, but
stuff.
maybe a movie called Cloud 9.
Yeah.
Why don't we show some pictures from that? It was so much fun. This is a film that really changed your career, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they had no problem with you being known as gay or bisexual at all.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, and you told me that you were a little scared when you first that you had some feelings about it.
Yeah.
I mean, because we all do. I did too. And sometimes it's just in our heads,
Yeah.
and it's not a real reality. And I think that's what's so cool about everything now, and with people in your age group, that you can play a part, and it doesn't have to be you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really, I'm really happy with how they treated the situation. I mean, they let me be the character. Nobody brought anything up.
Because you're the lead boyfriend, I guess, or the
yeah,
second lead boyfriend.
I'm one of the bad guys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm the boyfriend that becomes the non-boyfriend that
You're the boyfriend.
The boyfriend. Yeah.
That's what the Jews call.
No, but it was an amazing experience. It was shooting in Utah, so we actually shot on a mountain for most of it. The first day of shooting, I'll never forget this. So the very first day, I'm there. There's 100 people. There's wardrobe. There's hair. There's makeup. There's the producers, the camera, the equipment. 100 people around me watching, making sure I don't mess up. It's the first scene I shoot, and we
got the pressure.
Well, we didn't have a location. They actually built a cafe on the side of a mountain, so there wasn't insulation. And the first day I'm shooting, I have chapstick on. It freezes, and my lip freezes, and I start talking like this, and that's the first scene I shot. The director's like, "Enunciate!" And I was like, "I'm sorry, my face is frozen." It was a great experience, but I'll just never forget that.
What did he do?
Oh, they said, "Cut, Mike. You need to enunciate." I said, "Sir, my face is frozen," and my lip actually cut, and I started bleeding, and we had to wait a few minutes for my lip to.
Oh my God, that's hysterically funny.
Bleeding for the art.
Oh my gosh, let's do a thing. What I call we'll show some pictures, and it's called "What Is This?"
Okay.
So,
Uh-oh.
Brent, let's.
What am I getting into? What am I agreeing?
You
to?
sent me them, but I don't know what they are.
Okay.
It's nothing that I'm going to do anything to embarrass you. But yes, I have naked pictures. What's this?
Oh, so that's me putting up a poster of me as a rapist to advertise for our South by Southwest MFA film.
Oh my God.
Naturally.
Yes.
Yeah. That's from Cloud 9. That's myself talking to Dove Cameron.
Oh, okay.
That is.
Wait, who's Dove Cameron?
Dove Cameron is
one of the Disney It Girls.
One of the Disney It Girls. Oh, she's amazing. She sings, she acts, she does everything.
Oh, wow.
And she's a very sweet person, and she was my girlfriend in that movie. That's on set of Jin.
Now you play what in Jin? We didn't talk about what you play.
Oh, in Jin? Oh, I'm just. It's just a quick cameo of the camera guy.
Yeah.
So it's just for fun. But that one, it's absolutely to produce and to see the story told, and not to act. Oh, is that it?
Do we have any more? That's it? Okay.
Oh, this is from a photo shoot we did with Buddha Bullying. So
Tell
that's so Buddha Bullying is an organization that I'm a part of. I'm on the board with Cassie Skirbo. Dimitri Halkidis is the president, and then in that picture you also saw Blake Cooper Griffin.
Who's Blake Cooper?
He's another actor.
Okay.
He and I did a film last year that you might have seen called Love Is All You Need.
I know that.
Brianna Evigan, Emily Osment. It was a great film. You should watch it. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
So, we come together and we sort of create content online to send around the country for kids that might be experiencing bullying. We also have events where we go and speak to schools in Los Angeles and surrounding communities about bullying and what you can do if you see bullying. What you can do if you've experienced it yourself, how can you can speak to people. We also have materials for parents and for teachers, so if bullying is happening to their child or some of their students, it just says, hey, maybe this is a helpful way to bring it up instead of some of the more
I wish I had that. I was bullied terribly as a kid. I think it completely changed who I was as a person, and I don't think that I ever really recovered from it. I think that it's a part of who I am. It's a part of the way I walk into a situation, how I see myself in life.
Yeah,
I think very
it's
much
terrible.
so.
It's terrible, and so many bullying situations are so easily preventable that
they weren't then. I mean, when I was a kid, kids would follow me home from school. I remember once I was walking from physical education PE to my science class, and some kid socked me in the face, and I passed out. I remember, things like that. I mean, just being pushed on the bus on Wilshire Boulevard coming home from junior high school, pushed back and forth like a football. You know, just all the things that happened to me was just life-changing.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it on the show before. I mean, even the one thing that I think changed the most is that in junior high school, on my locker, when I went to school, you would have the same locker for 3 years, and someone scraped really lightly with a nail, fag. And I could see it when the light would hit it a certain way every day. And I never said anything to anybody.
Yeah.
Until I was like in my late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, I mean, we want to make sure that if we can use a small part of a platform that we have as actors or musicians or whatever to try to communicate and share stories with kids around the country that we might not interact with, but might be experiencing things that you're talking about. We try to do that. So if people want to learn about it, it's www.boo2bullying.org.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes with Mike C. Manning on Absolutely Jason Stewart. Please stay with us.
Yeah, I'm going to refer to this absolutely.
He's absolutely Jason. He's absolutely gay.
Hey, we're back. Absolutely Jason Stewart here with my guest, Mike C. Manning. So tell me, what was it like to work on Major Crime? Because I love James Duff, and I love Adam Belanoff. I was on The Closer, which is basically the same show, just without Kara Sedgwick. What was it like to work on it? That was sort of cool, huh?
It was a lot of fun. It was really cool. I had been in for that casting office so many times.
Once they like you, you're in.
That's exactly, yeah. Liz Dean was incredible.
But it's James Duff that does it.
And James Duff, exactly.
He decides that he likes you, and he wants you, and he'll try to find something for you.
And that's absolutely what it was. James was definitely a
What'd you
champion
play?
for me. I played someone that accidentally murders somebody, pretends that they're still alive with their social media accounts, and then I'm found out, and then I run away, and then I take this girl hostage.
It's quite
in the middle of a park with everybody, and I have the gun, and I'm like, I'll kill her, ah! And that was another one that I'm like, Ma, don't have Grandma watch it. Grandma watched it. Grandma called me the next day. She said that she started crying when they put me in the cop car, when they arrested me. And I said, Grandma, it's fake. Come on. Just go back to watching Disney stuff.
Did you watch it on Hawaii Five-0?
Yes, she
What did you play in that? Because I didn't see that one.
Yeah, Hawaii Five-0. I was I was a frat guy that was during pledge weeks, but the episode opens and you think that I'm being kidnapped because there's a really deep voice and it's like, are you so and so? Are you do you live at this address?
I do that just for fun around my apartment.
Yeah, and I'm like blindfolded. Yeah, right. Blindfolded
my
and,
ex,
and hands behind your back and whatever, and then you find out that it's hazing week. And it's really a joke, and so
was
we
that
take
you
shots,
being
we
tied up?
drink. I was tied up.
Naked or?
I was not naked. I was fully clothed.
Oh.
Yeah. And so, all right, this is not your fantasy. This is Hawaii Five-0.
I know. I'm just.
And so, so we. Now I'm thinking about that. So we drink a lot of beers and all that stuff, and then I find a dead body. That's
all right. Let's look at some more pictures before we go.
Yeah, let's change the damn.
What's this?
Oh, this is at South by Southwest. That's Francesca Eastwood, and Clifton Collins Jr., who was also in the film.
I love Clifton Collins Jr.
He's phenomenal. He in Westworld is one of my new favorite shows, and he kills it.
But I loved him in when he was in Capote with Philip Seymour Hoffman. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, you're right.
He plays one of the boys.
Yeah.
I just love, but I've loved his career for my whole life.
So he plays a detective that's following Francesca Eastwood's character around as she's committing these murders.
That's so cool. Show us another one.
So that is Leah McKendrick. She's the writer. She also plays the role of Skye. She's the best friend of Francesca Eastwood in the film. Leah McKendrick, and then there's Natalia Late. She's the director. And she also did the with Diane Agron.
How do you remember all these names? Jesus.
Well, when you literally don't sleep for 2 months, working with these people. I mean, Leah was like my sister in arms. We really everything that had to happen with the film, we had to see happen. And then Shintaro Shimosawa was the executive producer. He did the Grudge movies. He was sort of the big man. Every time we needed the heavy hammer for something to happen during the film.
Do we have any more?
Did it.
Let's see what else.
Oh yeah, that's me next to the film poster for Folk Hero and Funny Guy.
What do you play in that?
I play a young comedian actually in that one.
And you didn't contact me?
But I produced that one, and it was a while ago, and we weren't as close. And no, but so
did you do stand up in the movie?
That just hit theaters. So I play a stand up comedian, but I'm not doing stand up in the scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was on the more involved on the
producing side
of that one, but I had a fun scene with.
And that opens when?
Wyatt Russell, Alex Karpovsky. It opened in theaters and on demand last week.
At the same time.
Yes. Same time.
That's the cool new thing that everybody's doing.
Yeah.
And we have 1 minute. Okay.
Well, let's. Oh, there's one more picture.
Oh, one more picture.
That's Jin. So that's the two producers and the writer director of Jin. And they are sort of the dream team behind our movie.
And they're so young and cute and sweet.
Yeah.
And it was fun to work with them.
Yeah, it was great.
I spent 2 days hanging out with these gals. Yeah. Well, this has been really, really great. So tell me, where can people contact you now that you're thinking about not being a Facebook person?
Yeah, I just sort of hate everything happening in the world today, and with Manchester, and with all these.
Oh, it's hard.
These things happening. I go in the morning on Facebook, and I look at my timeline, and it just depresses me. And so I think I'm going to check out of Facebook for a little while. But everything else is at Mike C. Manning.
Do you have a website?
Yeah,
so they can go there.
MikeCManning.com, at Mike C. Manning on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff.
Mike C. Manning. And of course, if you can't remember his name or can't remember anything, just go to jasonstuart.com, STUART. Thank you all so much for listening, and everyone take care. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
He's absolutely Jason, he's absolutely gay. He'll absolutely brighten up the darkest rainy day.